Hi, how are you doing? Today we're going to talk. I'm going to talk to you, and you're going to talk back to me in the comments, because I love the comments from you guys and I love talking to you and getting your opinions on stuff. Today we're going to talk about Floyd Roses. Some people love them, some people hate them. Stop-tail bridges, some people love them, some people hate them. And regular just hardtail fixed bridges. We're going to talk about all this stuff, and we're also going to talk about nuts. Now, there's plastic nuts, metal nuts, graphite nuts, bone nuts, hairy nuts. We're not going to talk about hairy nuts, obviously, on my channel, because that would just be too weird. Now, a lot of you know from watching my channel, I have a hell of a lot of guitars with Floyd Rose bridges on. This is not because I love to dive bomb and do dime bag tricks, okay? The only thing I really use a Floyd Rose for is when I'm playing live, I like to make a bit of feedback and make some atmospheric noises, basically wobble about on it with the feedback, while the singer, whoever he may be, whatever band I'm in, is announcing, you know, the next song or talking to the crowd for whatever reason, you know, waffling on. I like to just make a bit of noise. Me and my drummer, he'll be tinkling around cymbals and I'll be going with a whammy bar, and that's all I use it for. I don't do dive bombs or anything else fancy with it. I'm just not that type of guitarist. So you might wonder why I have Floyds on my guitar. You'll also notice in my videos there's never an arm screwed in. That's because I just don't use the Floyd Rose in the house at all. I have no purpose for it whatsoever. So why the hell have I got Floyds on my guitars? That's what you all are probably thinking. Why do I keep buying guitar with Floyds on? Because they are a touch more expensive than other bridges. Well, let me just tell you something. It's nothing to do with what's going on at this end, why I have Floyd Roses on a lot of my guitars. It's actually to do with the other end of the guitar, the nut, okay? So the nut on this guitar is for the Floyd Rose, obviously. Now, I've had tons of them, and I have quite a lot of experience with them. I know I can get a 60 in that Floyd nut, okay? Now, most guitars that are under, like, I don't know, most guitars that are under £1,000 probably have plastic nuts on nowadays. There's a few knocking about with like graphite and you know the Graphtec nuts and stuff like that on. There's some of those knocking about, and that's all very well, but these nuts come ready to take like a standard tuning type string, okay, which would be like a 42, maybe a 44, and from all the standard nuts like this one, just one second. This is a plastic one. Most guitars' nuts look like that nowadays. They're plastic. And basically, I know that guitars like that, from all my experience of buying tons of guitars that I don't need, I know that will take probably, at a push, a 52, 54. A 54, you will have to do a touch of adjustment, a bit of filing, which is dodgy ground when you're using plastic nuts, because they don't file that well. You can screw it up and make a right mess of your guitar and end up needing a new nut fitting. So basically what I'm saying is this problem that is out there, that exists, is that if I buy a guitar with a Floyd Rose on, I've got a nut like this and it takes up to a 60 gauge, and to be honest with you, I did have one nut on this guitar here. This nut takes up to a 62 gauge. Okay, they're not 7 strings, they're just 6 strings. The 7 string obviously will probably take a bit higher, hopefully, I don't know, I'm not a 7 string man. But yeah, so if you play in a modern tuning, probably B, you know, C, you can use a 52 or a 54, so you can get away with a regular nut for C, drop C tuning. But for B, A, anything really that low like that, you're going to need either a Floyd nut, or you're going to need to adjust the guitar's nut, which is a massive job. It's a guitar tech's job, really. You know, that's not the sort of thing you can do yourself, really. You need a guitar tech to do it. There's not many guitarists I know that go fitting new nuts on guitars, but I'm sure some of you can do. But yeah, this is my problem. It's an issue. It's driving me mad, because I don't really need all these guitars with Floyds on. Obviously, some instability there as well with a Floyd Rose, which you can do without. I do love, okay, the Floyd Rose, because when I pick it up, like I know this guitar now, this one here, and I know that one will be in tune. I know that they will be in tune because they've got locking nuts on, and even if they are a smidgen out of tune due to being banged about or in heat, in cold, you know, all these things what change your tuning or new strings, I know I can just adjust the fine tuners a touch and it's back in tune. Also, if my singer on stage, my old singer used to do it all the time, carrying on like this, you know, jumping around, smacks my headstock, because I used to be on this side of the stage, the right hand side, smacks my headstock with his mic, his fist, his elbow, his shoulder, sometimes his head. That's happened before. I know I'm not going to be out of tune, I'm not going to be panicking for the rest of it, so I'm thinking, oh shit, has he just knocked my tuners all over the place? Because I've got a locking nut on. Now, Mick Thomson from Slipknot did something, and he has something on his Ibanez model and on his Jackson models that is amazing, because it looks like a Floyd Rose down there, and it's not a Floyd Rose. It doesn't move at all, but he's got fine tuners on the bridge, and he's also got a nut up the other end. A locking nut, sorry, up the other end. So he's got the best of both worlds, but he hasn't got the stability to worry about of the Floyd, because he doesn't use one. So for me, Mick Thomson has absolutely got this bang on, and he's probably the only person out there that actually does anything like this and has this. Everybody's got something to gain from having a Floyd type nut on their guitar, because they can put whatever gauge strings they want in it. So say even if you didn't use any of this locking mechanism whatsoever, why the hell don't brands just make a nut that is exactly the same as the Floyd nut, but not have the screw holes in, not have all this tops part of it, and then we can all just put whatever gauge we want on? I don't get why brands are not doing that, making metal nuts that are big enough to fit up, you know, up to gauge 60 or 62 in. I don't get why we've got plastic nuts on guitars and bone nuts and all the other fancy nuts. C is like standard tuning. Used to be most bands, you know, are in C that are playing metal and stuff like that. So maybe it's a metal guitar thing, but for me personally, it's a problem. Nobody wants to address it. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares about it. But it's driving me mad, because it's stopping me purchasing quite as many fixed bridge guitars as I actually would do. I'm going for the Floyds because I know I can put that guitar in whatever tuning I want. So yeah, let me know what you think. Is this a problem for you as well? It's got to be. There must be more people out there with this problem than just me. We play metal, we like low tunings, we want to put whatever strings we want on the guitar. Oh, it's a massive problem. I just don't get why no one can sort it out. I don't get why we've not got metal nuts on guitars. Let me know what you think. First of all, I want to know what is your favourite style of bridge? Okay, do you like hardtail, string through, stop tail, or Floyd? Do you have the same problem as me? I mean, I personally, that thing where you can just fine tune the Floyd is so useful and so brilliant. You'd think a metal nut, no matter what type of metal it is, you'd think it would sound better than a plastic nut. Putting it out there, I want you guys to talk about it in the comments, see what we can come up with. Maybe there's a nut out there I don't know about that's awesome, that can do this, that you can get these big whapping strings in. I don't know, but we need to sort it out, because it's a massive problem, and I'm sure it must affect sales and affect how people buy guitar. But yeah, I'm going now. Thanks a lot for listening. I'm sorry I rambled on for a quarter of an hour. I know I shouldn't have done, and I know this is just a rambling video, but I had to get this off my chest because it's bugging me. Let's just sort us nuts out, boys and girls. See ya.